Yet even as we celebrate these efforts, the challenge remains immense. Forests continue to disappear, climate shocks grow stronger, and too many communities still face the cost of environmental neglect. This moment reminds us that we cannot slow down. Instead, we must rise together with even stronger partnerships, deeper collaboration, and a renewed sense of urgency. Because only together can we protect what remains, restore what's been lost, and build a greener, more resilient future for generations to come. Thank you for being part of this important day, a moment that marks the beginning of a shared journey.
As I said earlier, this is the only place that we have for our life, planet Earth. When we took it from our forefathers, it was green. But now, as you saw from the video, we are destroying it. This is the only livable place. Sijui kuhusu maeneo mengine yakoje, sijui kuhusu Mars, sijui kuhusu kwingineko, lakini this is the only place we have. Sasa part of this event is a panel discussion that I'm going to lead. I will be moderating it, and the theme will be Green Legacy in Motion, Youth Power, Bold Progress, and a Greener Future for Tanzania. I would now like to take this opportunity to call my panelists. If I call you, please step forward. Engineer Helen Simime, makofi kwake tafadhali. Engineer Helen Simime, a passionate environmental advocate and a driving force for sustainable change in Tanzania. And through her work in the private sector, Helen has championed impactful green initiatives that are shaping a cleaner, more sustainable future. Karibu sana Engineer Helen, unaweza kukaa popote pale mama, popote chagua. Naomba pia sasa nimwite brother Frederick Simon, makofi kwake. He is a project management specialist and a prominent climate advocate. He has represented Tanzania as a youth negotiator in climate diplomacy at numerous UNFCCC conferences, including COPs and subsidiary body meetings. Karibu sana. Naomba nimwite mtu mwingine Dr. Rukonge, kumradhi, Dr. Rukonge, Sospita Muhongo, climate finance, sustainability and energy industry analyst. Karibu sana, makofi kwake tafadhali. Yeye ni expert katika climate finance, energy law and sustainable development policy. He holds a PhD na mambo mengine mengi sana. Makofi kwake. Alafu nimwite dada Eva Sophie Michael. Dada Eva Sophie Michael, sijui kama yupo. Haya, dada Eva simuoni, lakini Dr. Paul, Director of the Biodiversity Division, Vice President's Office, kama yupo naye. Sijamuona Dr. Paul. Alafu nimwite brother Abdallah Shah, chairperson of the DPG eneo la environment. DPG ni hawa ni wadau wa maendeleo hawa. Karibu sana. Na mimi ni Masud Kipanya, ndiye ambaye nita moderate. Na sehemu ya juhudi hizi ni pamoja na watu ambao wanasaidia kupunguza hewa ya ukaa, ambayo ukipunguza hewa ya ukaa manake unasababisha dunia iendelee kuwa sehemu salama zaidi. Sisi kama KP Motors tumeleta gari iko nje, bahati mbaya haiwezi kufika huku, so we were not able to bring the car to this side, but it is at the parking lot there. You can have a time at the end of these sessions and go and see it. Sasa kwa ruksa yenu naomba nikakae nianze kuwachokoza wadau wangu kuhusiana na tuko wapi, tunataka kwenda wapi, na je, panafikika? Haya, naomba niwaongezee kipaza sauti hapa. Haya, nafikiri ikiwa unaweza ukakaa nacho wewe. Mimi natakiwa nikae katikati au nikae pembeni? Mimi natakiwa nikae pembeni, eh? Katikati, nimeambiwa nikae katikati. Asante. Mambo mengi sana. Nilitaka nianze na Dr. Paul lakini simuoni kwa sababu yeye kwa kuwa anatokea ofisi ya makamu wa rais, ningetamani sana atuambie kuhusiana na sera na mipango mingine, lakini kwa kuwa yupo nitaanza na kaka Abdallah Shah. Kipaza sauti unacho? Naomba kikamate tafadhali. Tumeambiwa tutumie asilimia half almost, kwa sababu tunao wageni ambao hawaelewi lugha ya Kiswahili, so feel free to speak English, but I know maybe some of us don't understand English, so you will not be translating, but we changanya, na ukikaa na mtu tafadhali msaidie, yakitoka maneno magumu msaidie. Kwa hiyo karibu sana. Na mimi swali langu la kwanza ni what major milestones have the development partners community achieved in the environment sector over the years in Tanzania, please? Karibu.
Wow, that's quite a huge question, really. And development partners have been here for as far as we can. Tanzania became Tanzania. They are here, and they've been contributing in the field of environmental management, the field of forestry, in the field of wildlife management, and etc. So to say the major highlights, it was a bit of a headache last night when I was looking at this, and I said maybe I'll put it in like in three major groups, and we had the institutional support, where actually. And then another one is before we go to details of institutional support, maybe another one is the policy and law, and plans and assessments. And basically, when we talk of plans and assessment, that's where the part of actions come in. So, institutional support, as we can see, the development partners have worked with the government of Tanzania for many years in designing and creating various environmental institutions. The classical ones, that is National Environment Management Council, and maybe the most recent one, the National Carbon Monitoring Center. The Carbon Monitoring Center has been supported and nurtured and made to grow by the generous support from the government of Norway, the of Agriculture. The Sokoino University of Agriculture itself is the establishment of the institution, the growing up, the building up was supported significantly by Nordic countries. So that's that one way where we can say that the donors or development partners have supported institutions. And now policy and laws, and the major example is the establishment of National Environment Management Act, which was mooted in the 1980s and 90s, and the World Bank provided significant. This is an example, actually. This is not the only law, but it's an example that the World Bank provided a lot of resources to make sure we have a National Environment Management Act. And it was a long process, part of the institutional strengthening program, and now we have the law. Of course, after that, the improvement and adjustment has been very much of its own, the Tanzania own making. On plans and assessments, this is the area of action, and various development partners have supported Tanzania in various areas. Let's take example of Finland. Finland has been supporting Tanzania for many years on forestry sector, thinking of the Southern Highlands, thinking of, there was a long-running program in Zanzibar, there was, and they have been continuing in that area, in different versions, type and styles, but Finland have remained constantly supporting Tanzania in the forestry sector. In terms of local example, because we are in Dar es Salaam, we have been working with, like the UK was working with the government of Tanzania and World Bank to look at the challenges of Msimbazi Valley, Msimbazi Valley, and the challenges that we have as Tanzania when it rains. So we are going to get some huge solution, but that solution was built not only like a wizardry, as Mzee Shayo said here, but it was something that was done through the massive amount of studies and understanding the geomorphology, the ecology, the geography of the area, and so on. So then the outcome, one of them is this. This is an executive summary of multiple documents of which I've given copies to the organizers, and this is called Msimbazi Valley Opportunity. So transforming Msimbazi from a land of catastrophe to land of opportunity. So there is a lot to be done, but part of it, of course, as we know, is everybody understand there's going to be a bridge constructed. And the data, the information generated to support the design and the of the bridge was a support from the UK through World Bank and working with various the government of Tanzania through PIORAG, the TAN roads, and so on. So we have also recently been thinking very much. This is a work that I've been also working on recently, the issue of waste management in Dar es Salaam. And we have been looking at it very critically, and we have multiple studies that we have been conducting, and that's something that basically to try to transform Dar es Salaam from being where waste is part and parcel of daily life to something that can be to make the city cleaner in a nutshell. Development partners have done quite a lot, and this is just few examples. In this kind of meeting, you will not be able to come to the details, because I think if someone is studying environment and want to do a thesis on development partners' contribution, it's an opportunity. I think there's a lot to be learned in terms of contribution, and this is not like one-off activity. It's been continuous and continuing. It's becoming difficult in terms of what is happening in the world, but there is a resolve from development partners to continue to support Tanzania in this sector. Thank you very much.
Okay. You've spoken from the perspective of a development partner. What about the local? Happy with the government and the people?
Of course, it's an ongoing process, and something that everyone make their contribution. When I was talking about development partners here, I mentioned ministries, government ministries. So Tanzania, of course, the government ministries are doing something, making contribution. The development partners making contribution in supporting the government of Tanzania. It doesn't mean the government of Tanzania is sleeping, but it is the capabilities and inabilities are part of the challenges that the government of Tanzania face, and that's where the development partners come to contribute in enabling or supporting the government of Tanzania to make to be able to tackle the challenges that the Tanzania is facing in terms of environment management.
Okay. The engineer, then please grab the microphone, switch it on, if it is possible. She is the sustainability manager from Twiga Cement.
Yes.
What steps has the industrial sector, Twiga Cement, taken to align its operations with the sustainability and equity?
I will be very comfortable taking Twiga Cement as an example
Mhm.
because this is my home, it's where I'm coming from. Being a cement manufacturing industry, lakini what are we doing to mitigate this? Because you cannot produce cement without emitting CO2. So Twiga Cement and other key players in cement manufacturing have taken a step. First of all, we are investing in our process, like in clinker production. So we are having kilns that are very efficient and can reduce CO2 emission by 30%. How is this done? In the production, we are using natural fuels like gas, but gas again is contributing to CO2 emission. So what do? We encourage use of alternative fuels. So at Twiga Cement right now, we are using up to 25% of biomass as waste, as we are recovering this waste from agriculture, as we are turning it to fuel in our processes. So since 2021, we have managed to use up to 22% of biomass in our production. And to be honest, our target to 2030 is to go up to 40%. So for this reason, for this comment, I welcome all stakeholders, all environmentalists, all of you who are here to come and support this initiative. If you have agricultural waste, look at it as an opportunity and not as a waste. But again, Twiga Cement is having a room to use municipal waste, solid municipal waste. My colleague panelist spoke something about the Salaam city waste solution. We are a solution to this waste. We can use up to 50,000 tons of this waste once processed as a fuel in our kilns. So we are a solution. If we can invest and look to it as an opportunity, Twiga Cement and the other cement manufacturing have kilns that can consume up to 50,000 tons a year of this waste and can keep our city very clean. But on top of this, private sector is taking part in looking at CO2 emission as a secondary stage. I mean, there is primary and secondary. So like Twiga Cement currently also, we are using, we have installed the solar energy. This will help us to reduce our CO2 footprints also. So we have installed a 15 megawatt power plant that is used to our own operations. And this is really showing our initiatives in reducing our CO2 footprints. Yeah. Also, more or less I can say we are involved into community engagements and all other initiatives that will take our Tanzania and our Dar es Salaam city into greener future. Thank
Okay.
you. Yeah.
Tell me, how is cement produced? Give us the process. Isije kawa kuna chimbwa kule mawe, by the time mnamaliza kule kuna mashimo, mmeenda kwenye core ya planet, alafu dunia ikaacha kuzunguka. Kwa simenti ni nini ile? Kusikia umetaja clinker.
Masudi, simenti
Ni mawe.
limestone. Yes, ni mawe. Na kuchimba ni lazima tuchimbe, lakini tuna mine responsibly. Sasa hivi
how responsibly?
Responsibly in a sense that the hectares that are mined, we are trying to bring life back into that land. We are not just leaving that land as it is. Actually, cement is I don't know, I can say it's mined or it's quarried. It's a quarry, it's more of a quarry. It's a surface mining. And what we do, of course, we are blasting and we are taking the limestone out of it for cement manufacturing. But we are being very responsible with our production activities.
Okay.
Yes, first by renaturing this land. Yes, Twiga Cement has. I think some of you are my partners, and I'm working with you very closely in providing you with trees that are being nurtured at our tree nursery. We are nurturing almost 65,000 trees yearly to try to bring back the land into life, the land that has completed mining back into its nature. And again, we are supporting the community also, the schools, the NGOs, also to plant trees. And we are giving these trees for free, Masudi.
Okay.
So you can also come to pick some.
Cement technology. Kuna namna ya kuifanya ikawa modified, yani maabara huko tunakokwenda tutoke kwenye kublast. Najua siku hizi watu wanaweza kuprint nyumba.
Not real,
wakafanya 3D printing.
What we are doing, Masood, once you can reduce the usage of the raw material.
Okay.
Yeah, this approach is very possible. So you see, like in the years back, they were producing cement with very high clinker content. When I speak of clinker,
what is clinker?
This is the raw material for cement production. And this is the one that is making CO2 emission. So what is we are currently doing, we are producing we call them sustainable cement products.
Okay.
You see our brands in Twiga Cement, you have Twiga OPC, Twiga Extra. These are made in a way that those with less clinker are the ones which are said to be more sustainable products.
Okay.
So by using less clinker, eventually you are making the guy who is mining not to mine more.
Okay.
You understand? Direction as well. And also I can tell you there are kilns that are now designed to use alternative raw material like clay and something else, so that we don't go into too much mining at site, but also not too much CO2 emitting.
Okay.
So we are doing something.
Safi. Sina wasiwasi. Frederick, one of the youngest, you've been representing us in the global platforms. What have we benefiting? Oh, you're the only person who is benefiting by traveling, shopping. What do you do when you back to Tanzania?
I think I love shopping.
You love shopping.
Yeah. I think we have benefited a lot. One thing that I can say, you cannot overlook it. So, what have we benefited there? It's to shape the policies that is not just representing Tanzania, your own views and what you are doing. It's about the facing, the floods, the droughts, the temperature rising, the decline of agriculture productivities. For the hunger could be more higher, and we'll be facing more of increasing poverty from the agricultural sector.
2030 is hardly 5 years from today.
Yes, from today, and you can see that we have started to see that. If you have been observing on,
And the projections of the global population it's gonna go around close to 10 billion.
Yes,
probably.
yes, but going to present those challenges there, and it's not just presenting them; it's to make sure that the policies that are alleged, the policies that are placed, are more relevant to what we are facing. So I don't want to go more into what development partner could hear. I want to talk about young people.
Okay.
You understand? So I think those places is where you could gain experience to the hand. For example, most of the African countries are the most that are facing hardest to the climate change, and they are contributing the emission. So, and we are facing hardest thing, but we cannot see the benefit that are coming from us to regulate the global emission. We have a lot of forests, Congo Basin, the regulators of the emissions. I can say that. So to more talking about us young people representing there is experience sharing, but also it's more of getting expertise. And you know, representing Africa is not easy on that spaces.
Why?
Because more of our other countries, they're more into they have capacity, they have developed capacity, they can challenge you what they want on the loom, but you as African young person, you are not yet. That is one of the gap that I'm bringing here. Young people are not well trained, are not well capacitated to represent their problem, to represent their countries at this global stage. And that's why you say that the first you are going to shop. Sometimes when you don't know how to do, and when your government doesn't mandate you on several things and key agenda and priorities, I think you'll be ending up to move around on the city and without knowing what you're going to do. So sometimes you need to have the critical idea of what you're going to present, and you have the world capacity built. And that's why I think I saw Sarah Pima here, the one of the agent chair, agent secretariat. On the UNFCC, we have this thing called African Group of Negotiators. That's this year, Dr. Richard Muyungi, who is Tanzanian, is one who leading it is challenging it. So, and also we are looking forward. We had the meeting back in 2 days in Bonn, and I was there for 2 weeks specifically for making sure African priorities are into the agenda of SPI and Substar. So the so I'm sorry to be technical. SBI is a subsidiary board for implementation. So those bodies are the pass to COP30s, Conference of Parties. It's setting the agenda, and it's setting the path to go to COP30s. We always have COPs, Conference of Parties, and I think this is my 50th COP. And here I need also to thank the government of Tanzania.
Okay.
They have been accredited institution or accredited NGOs, and some of them are international organizations that it's not easy to access those badges. But in Tanzania, I think Vice President Office, they have been so much keen. And I need to thank also Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President. She has been so passionate about young people to be trained, to be capacitated. For example, I think we are setting the ground to initiate very soon. I think most of people know Salapima. I think we get to know her. We are going to initiate Negotiation Hub Center here in Tanzania. It's Africa Negotiation Center. So young people could learn how to negotiate on those spaces, how to close deal, because on this space, in order to implement the green future that we're talking now, we need the climate financing.
Okay. You've spoken about the endorsement. Endorsement is one thing. Capacitation. Are you capacitated by the government? Because you've spoken about not having a voice on the table.
It's called Africa Youth Negotiation Center. This negotiation center here it will feature all African countries, nations.
Okay.
That also will be championed by the agent chair, and also the government of Tanzania, with also the vice president office. This is an initiative that will be one of the game changer to make sure young people know what they are going to
Okay.
fight for.
Apart from traveling and do the shopping and everything locally, you do.
Okay. At first, I work at UDEFO as a partnership officer,
Okay.
but also being all the stakeholder on the loom.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Shout out to Caesar and all the team. So to the nation policies, you know, this is where we get understanding of the global, like the global policies, the Paris Agreement, the Kyoto Protocol, and such a thing. So those are the technical framework in there, the global spaces. So we need to translate them into more of the understandable knowledge that everyone here.
Frederick turudi baadaye.
Yeah.
Mimi najua huwa mnakuja na hizo terminologies of framework, mitigation na nini, lakini wakati mwingine mambo hayatokei. Lakini hata hivyo hongera sana kwa sababu as a young person kufika level hizo, maanake wanajitahidi sana. Dr. Rukonge, let's talk about money.
Yes, yes.
Let's talk about money. How can Tanzania attract and effectively utilize climate finance to support youth-led sustainable development initiatives? Alafu pia wanasikia kuna kitu kinaitwa carbon credit na nini kinapita tu unakuwa tuelewi. Let's talk about money. Karibu sana.
Asante sana. So thank you for having me. I am the thing that was not mentioned. I'm the ESG Sustainability Manager at CRDB Bank PLC, and I'm here representing CRDB. And I'm your counterpart, I guess, different industries. So I would like to talk in compartments and then to bring it down to what CRDB does. Then we'll explain. So when you speak of the youth, number one, by 2050, 1 person in 4 people will be African. Africa's median age is 19.3 years old. Africa has the youngest population in the world, and so that means it's a growing continent, regardless. So climate change has a lot of, but it hits the most in Africa. It's regarding. Thank you. I think it regards to energy and agriculture. 600 million people in Africa have experienced what they call energy poverty. So they do not have access to sustainable energy. When you leave alone the infrastructure, the politics and policies, we do not have access to that energy. The youth right now, they're into energized type of industries when it comes to AI, technology, social media, etc. So number one, that's energy, of which climate finance has to build the bridge to build that gap. Then when it comes to agriculture, there's a very huge, already there's a lot of food insecurity within Africa, within sub-Saharan Africa. And climate finance also, regardless of the modern and advanced technological tools and processes to create or to have food and agriculture, bring food on our tables, there's still a very huge deficit. Now, when you talk of energy and agriculture, that means you've impacted trade, because as Tanzania, we're a big mining country. We export a lot of commodities. So those are our 2 biggest anchor, let's say, aspects of trading in the world, among other things. Now, when we bring it, let's say now to climate finance and CRDB and what we do. So CRDB, using, of course, the help of the government of Tanzania, huge help from the government of Tanzania, as well as developing partners. CRDB is the first accredited bank, the direct access entity to the GCF, the Global Climate Fund. And we are the only bank in sub-Saharan Africa that has an approved concept note whereby we got funds from GCF. I'm sure a lot of people are aware of that. And the funds are total of 100 million. It's co-financing $200 million. And this is all in agriculture adaptation to try to adapt to the changes in rainfalls, etc., etc. And it has a lot of other incentives that I don't want to get into when it comes to helping the smallholder farmer within rural Tanzania, of which those are the largest parts of the population. That's where they live. Now, that's what we do. Then again, we have the green bond. I don't know if you're aware, just a few days ago, we listed our green bond to the Luxembourg Stock Exchange. I think we need a round of applause, please. Yeah, so yes, the first green bond in sub-Saharan Africa and the biggest, and it was listed. And this has also sustainable agriculture implements as well as renewable, and these fancy terminologies and fancy issues, as you said. The issue is translating it to the local person, the local Tanzanian, not the biggest even us who are here in the room, so that we can address that gap and create a sustainable future for the Tanzanian, the East African, and the African, and the globe. Now, the issue is we have relationship managers who go down to the rural areas and provide these products for the local Tanzanian. We have capacity building tools whereby we capacitate the person going to on lend the product. And we're devising more products to be able to mitigate and adapt to climate change. And that's the total essence of climate financing. Yes, thank you.
How is the how acceptable is I mean the fund is, you've spoken about the global climate, the fund, and I know a green bond some of us cannot afford to have because you spoke about the normal Tanzanian. How accessible is it?
Yes.
The GCI,
The GCF.
the GCF, yes.
Okay, so number one is at the end of your question, or I think you're
No,
talking.
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So number one, it's a concessional type of product. So it's not like a normal agribusiness product. And you have to understand, we do have CRDB commands almost 40% of Tanzania's agri sector, you know. But we do not. The product, the Chaka TDP product, is not within the agribusiness unit within our bank. It falls within the sustainable finance unit, and that's because it's concessional and it has climate adaptation incentives, and that is the major role. And the accessibility of it, sometimes I'm sure that what you're worried about, it's on rates, interest rates, and the interest rates, I assure you, they are not commercial, and that's why it only targets smallholder farmers, because otherwise you just have one huge Baresa could just take the whole amount and it's finished, and we could just take off the KPIs. But the issue is that we're looking at smallholder farmers because it has direct beneficiaries and indirect beneficiaries. So it was also impact driven. It's just not about on lending and dishing out the funds. So it is accessible because it is concessional. Number one. Number two, because it's tailored to the smallholder farmers' realities when it comes to insurance, whether index, when it comes to deposits, when it comes to collaterals. All these considerations have been put within the product to accommodate the local smallholder farmer. And so far, we're doing very well in dealing with this type of product in Tanzania, and we're developing more products.
Okay.
Yes.
So for the sake of time, one more question for each of you, Kaka Abdallah. Kwenye kutekeleza miradi ya kimazingira, have you been facing any challenges, setbacks? Please, karibu. Na njia ya kuzitatua.
Maybe first of all, I should compliment what Rukonge was talking about, getting smallholder farmers to access the GCF fund from CRDB Bank. Early this year, we had a short project working with the Forum CC, and they used that funds to train farmers in Kilwa and Kilosa. We use funds to train people how to access funds, because of course the bank is very complicated institution, and for the smallholder farmers that are being targeted by these funds, they need to get some awareness, some knowledge, and skills. So we used that. We created a short project for farmers in Kilwa and Kilosa. Of course, the choice was of CRDB and UNFCC, not UNFCCC, Forum CC. So that training was done, and I think it was part of implementation, and those farmers were encouraged to go and reach out to CRDB to access funds with the skills that were provided through that project. Yeah, in terms of challenges, their life is full of challenges, and you cannot say that when you're implementing programs or projects, you don't face challenges. One of the big challenge globally, I think, and even here, is bureaucracies that we create. Approve, review, adjust, and so the bureaucracy is essential. We cannot avoid it. But what we have occasionally face is red tapes. Someone is supposed to approve a document X or a process X within 1 month, and this guy is sitting on that information for the next 6 months. So those kind of challenges. So we have to push each other, and it's not necessarily the institutions. So one of the major problems is how to navigate and get the bureaucracy to work. You have heard of the term perhaps called, and we have agreed that this project is going to be implemented using 10 million pounds, for instance, or $10 million in 5 years. You get to 5 years, you still have $7 million in your hand, and you have a string of activities not implemented. So at that moment in time, then the decision will be like, oh, can we spend this money? But we need to extension of time. But we don't need extension of money, but we need extension of time. So those are the kind of solution that happens. And this is because of factors. But the key one is, again, the question of red tapes inside.